Hi, this is Dean from Southtown Guitar. I'd like to show you some chords for the hymn Abide With Me. Playing hymns on the guitar can be really tricky because most hymns were written for pianos. And on the piano it's much easier to change chords every beat. On a guitar that gets pretty unwieldy pretty quickly. So guitar music tends to have fewer chords in it, and the chords last for longer. So I created an arrangement of this song, and I want to show you some chords that sound really great. If you're not familiar, there's a series of chords that have these two fingers in them. I've got my pinky on the first string at the 3rd fret. That'd be a G note. Right above my pinky, I've got my ring finger on the 2nd string at the 3rd fret. That'd be a D note. And we can keep those two fingers there and do some other things with these two fingers that sound really good. So if I start here, this is a G chord. I've got my 2nd finger on the 6th string, 3rd fret. 1st finger, 5th string, 2nd fret. There's my G. If I take these off and put my 1st finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, then I'm going to play strings 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's called a D sus chord. Anytime you see some letters or numbers after a chord symbol in any music, whether it's for guitar or piano or any other chord instrument, think of those letters or numbers as a note or a series of notes that's added on to the main core group of notes that are in a chord. So a chord is made up of 3 or more notes. The first 3 notes in a chord are called its triad. So a D chord is made up of the notes D, F sharp, and A. Then if I add anything else on there in the chord symbol, I'll add a letter or a number. So our normal D chord on a guitar looks like this. That's only made up of the notes D, F sharp, and A. So I've got D, A, D, and F sharp. We can mix those notes around, but as long as we stick with D, A, and F sharp, it's just a plain old D chord. As soon as I add a new note, like this G up top, 1st string, 3rd fret, you'll notice right away that it changes the sound pretty significantly. And that G note is the 4th note of a D scale. Since we're playing a D chord, we're going to think about a D scale, or the D note being the 1st note of the scale. So if I count from D, E, F sharp, G would be my 4th note. So I'm adding a 4th note to this D chord when I put that G in there. And it gives kind of this sustained sound, or this sound that wants to resolve down to there. So what would that be? Suffix. The suffix sus on a D sus chord is short for sustained or suspended. So there's my D sus chord. It's a D chord with a G note added. Another chord that sounds good in Abide With Me has these 2 fingers on, and then with my 1st finger I'm going to play the 5th string, 2nd fret. 2nd finger I'll play the 4th string, 2nd fret. If I strum all of these, that's an E minor 7 chord. Just a plain old E minor would be the notes E, G, and B. And if I add my 7th note, now I'm going to start counting from the note E, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. I'm adding the 7th note, which is a D, to my E minor chord. So this is an E minor 7. It's an E minor note with a D note added onto it. This is our D. Sounds really good. So thus far we've got G, D sus, E minor 7. One other one that we can add in there is this chord. It'd be a C add 9 or a C2, sometimes you'll see it referred to. I've got my 2nd finger on the 5th string, 3rd fret. 1st finger on the 4th string, 2nd fret. Here's my C add 9. So what note are we adding to the C chord? Well, we need to count to 9, starting with C. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. We've got a C chord with a D note added in, and that's our third finger, second string, third fret. Here's our C add 9. One final chord in Abide With Me that is we'll use these two fingers is an A7 sus. So we've got a 7 and a sus on there, so we're adding two different notes to the A triad. An A triad would be A, C sharp, and E. And onto that, we're adding the 7th note, which would be A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So it's an A chord with a G note added. That G is up here. And we're also adding the sus note, or the suspended or sustained note, and from before we learned that that was a 4. So we've got A, B, C, D. So we're also adding a D note, which makes sense because we keep talking about this D, second string, third fret. And the A7 sus looks like this. I've got my open A, open 5th string, then 4th string, 2nd fret with my 1st finger. 3rd string is open, and then I've got these same two notes up here. So there's my A7 sus. And interestingly, in Abide With Me, the A7 sus is taking the place of an A minor chord as well as an A major chord. And it just sounds pretty cool in there. Normally we'd be shifting from minor to major within this one bar where we have the A7 sus, but we can just use the A7 sus for that whole chord, which allows us to have fewer chord changes and makes it more friendly on the guitar. Those are all of the sort of specialty chords, you might call them. In Abide With Me, there are a couple others. We've got just kind of our standard A minor chord, as well as that's it. That's the only other kind of standard chord. So I'm just going to play this through using these chords. Abide with me, fast fall asleep, eventide. The darkness deepens, Lord, with me abide. When other helpers fail and comforts flee, help of the helpless soul, abide with me. Swift to its closes, out life's little day. Earth's joys grow dim, its glories pass away. Change and decay, all around I see. Oh, thou who changest not, abide with me. I need thy presence every passing hour. What but thy grace can foil the tempter's power? Where is that singing? Where? Whoops, started singing verse 4 there. Let's go back to verse 3. Like thyself, my guide and stay can be. Through cloud and sunshine, oh, abide with me. I there you go, some really beautiful chords for Abide With Me. Let me know if you have any questions and enjoy that song.